Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia, California. My name is Lynn LaCours. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees here. I'd like to welcome you this morning for our meditation and music. And we will be talking about this curiosity as a superpower. So take into your meditation today, live life to the fullest. Welcome back from your meditation to such beautiful music from Kevin. Thank you. I have such gratitude for his gift. So now's the time in the center when we will be greeting each other. So if you're watching us on live stream, go grab a beverage and we'll see you back here at 10:30.
Working on church. Can you hear me, Stan?
Good morning and welcome back to Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia, California. I'd like to introduce some great music for you to enjoy this morning. Go ahead, guys.
Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a star summer night on a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find there's none so blind as he who will not see. We must not close our minds, we must let our thoughts be free. For every hour that passes, you know the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that people's lives are in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in their own way. Like a starry summer night on a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. shouldn't care about the length of his hair, color of his skin. Don't worry about what shows from without, what the love still lies within. Everyone has changes they're gonna go through sometime. Take a little time and look on the good side, my friend, and spit out in your mind. Hey, 'cause everything is beautiful in their own way. Like a star summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way. And everything is beautiful in its own way. Like a starry summer night or a snow-covered winter's day. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's gonna find a way.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, good morning to everyone here, everyone live streaming. It's a beautiful day. And I'd like to welcome you personally. My name is Lynn LaCours. I am on the Board of Trustees here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia. And today is just a beautiful, special day. So with that, I'll have Donna tell you all of the announcements.
All right. Have you looked at the mountains? I was driving to Porterville yesterday for a concert, and oh my gosh, that snow was coming down to the orange groves. It was just absolutely amazing. So I don't think in 35 years, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. So what a wonderful day. And now it was sunny by then. It rained for 3 days, and it was sunny by the time I drove. Perfect. Okay, let's go to the announcements. So this show is coming down today, our wonderful Black History show, and we're hanging on Wednesday. We're going to hang the WAG show. WAG stands for Wednesday Art Group. These are 4 women in their 80s who've been painting together for years, and they paint every Wednesday at Arts Visalia. And you can see they do beautiful work. So come out Friday. We'll have refreshments. We'll have fun. And secondly, during First Friday, we will have a book signing. So I don't know if I know Bev knows Edie Savage Weeks. Here's her book. It's an amazing book that she's written. I thought it was for COVID because it's all about getting over your anxiety. She said she started this years ago. And it's great. It's a little book with all these helpful little tips. And there's a story in the paper today. Read it, all about her. So she'll be reading her excerpts from her book and signing books. And come out and see her and support her. And what a local author doing great work. Now, the reason I was going to Porterville yesterday was because Donna and Bruce were part of a show in Porterville last night that was amazing. It was a talent show, wonderful talent, and these guys were part of it. And they're getting ready to do a concert for us as a fundraiser in probably May. So they're practicing every week, so get ready for that. And the fundraising committee has been working. We're also planning a paint night. We have an artist who has done these before, and he's willing to do a paint night for us. Bev tells me the last time you guys did this, it was wonderful, so much fun. And he says he can get anybody to paint whatever picture he's going to have up to get everybody to do. So you don't have to be a great artist or even a rotten artist to attend this. So we'll let you know more about that later. So this last week, we cleaned out the conference room. Yay! And you can see Donna and Steve here cleaned it out, and it was quite a chore. But now we can rent it. So we've been talking to a couple people, and nobody's confirmed yet, but we've talked to a couple of people for meetings or for painting classes. So if you know anybody who might want to rent either the big room or the conference room now, let them know we're available, because that's one way we can make money and get wonderful things going on in here. And when we moved, then we moved Ann next door into Reverend Nan's old office. And so now she has her own place, not with all the clutter of all the conference room stuff. And so she has her own space now, too. So we're coming along. We're doing well, and it's working great. Explorers is next week. We're going to continue our talk on the Beatitudes and Sermon on the Mount. Fascinating stuff. You'll see when we talk about the survey today, one person said, Explorers is one of the best things going on here. And I have to agree. It's wonderful discussion and learning fascinating things that I certainly didn't know. So you're invited to come. Just come and sit in next Sunday at 12:30. The book of the month for March is Living an Authentic Life. We don't have copies of it here, but you can get it online. Or, we're getting a Barnes & Noble eventually. It'll probably be a year from now, but we're going to get a bookstore back in town. That is so exciting. So this book is about, so some people think the disasters are terrible and they think life is terrible, or they ignore it and think, well, just forget all that. Well, our author here says, change your attitude. Is that science of mind or what? So great book, and that's the one for March. And last announcement is our big congregational potluck, and we're going to discuss the survey today. We have copies of the survey. If you didn't get it, we sent it out online on Thursday. And if you haven't had a chance to look at it, you can look at it during our potluck. Then we're going to break into little groups. We're going to talk about this, see what we can do, see what's possible, see where we're going next. So I'm so glad you're all here, and be sure to stay for the good food and the good discussion afterwards. Now we'll turn it over to Reverend Nan.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Now, this is the time that we present our inclusivity quote, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment, because throughout February, we've been featuring Black History Month, where we celebrate the many contributions made to our lives, our country, and the world by African American folks. As you can see, there's a new quote from a famous Black person on the poster in the center. And this week, I'm presenting another lesser-known African American as my person of the week, Dr. Charles Richard Drew. If we can have that slide up so everybody can see Dr. Drew, that'd be great. Now, anyone who has ever had a blood transfusion owes a debt to Charles Richard Drew, whose immense contributions to the medical field made him one of the most important scientists of the 20th century. He helped develop America's first large-scale blood banking program in the 1940s, earning him accolades as the father of the blood bank. He won a sports scholarship for football and track and field at Amherst College, where a biology professor piqued his interest in medicine. At that time, racial segregation limited the options for medical training for African Americans, and so he went to attend medical school at McGill University in Montreal. He then became the first Black student to earn a medical doctorate from Columbia University, where his interest in the science of blood transfusions led to groundbreaking work in separating plasma, the liquid portion of blood, from the red cells, so that there was just plasma that could be used. And this made it possible to store blood for a week, which was a huge breakthrough for doctors treating wounded soldiers in World War II. In 1940, he led an effort to transport desperately needed blood and plasma to Great Britain, and it was then under attack by Germany during the war. That program saved countless lives and became a model for a Red Cross pilot program to mass produce dried plasma. Ironically, the Red Cross at first excluded Black people from donating blood, making Drew ineligible to participate. That policy was later changed, but the Red Cross segregated blood donations by race, which Dr. Drew criticized as unscientific and insulting. That changed later. He also pioneered the Bloodmobile, a refrigerated truck that collected, stored, and transported blood donations to where they were needed. And no doubt some of you may have actually donated blood at a Bloodmobile. After the war, he taught medicine at Howard University and its hospital, where he fought to break down racial barriers for Black physicians. Dr. Drew exhibited his superpower of curiosity, and his explorations have had lasting impact that continue to live on, especially for the lives saved by blood transfusions and other blood products. And now I'm ready for our inclusivity quote that's selected by our team member Janice Lehman. I just love this one. This is a quote by Superman and Lois, and here we have it. There is a superhero in all of us. We just need the courage to put on the cape. So now I'm going to turn this time over to Janice for our affirmation and our opening treatment. And after the music, I'll be back with you.
Good morning. I remembered to hold the microphone up. Whoa. I am back from COVID. I am back from 2 surgeries that John had. He had cataract surgery. And I am also back from our big conference. And I want you to know that while sitting in my living room, I was in the Bay Area, I was in Phoenix, and I was in Dallas. And if any of you think that if you watch something online that it isn't emotional, I would just like to, posit this. How many of you ever cry at a theater? Are the people there, or are they on the screen? How many of you ever cry at TV movies? There we go. Well, I want you to know that at the one in Dallas, that was the last day, and I cried so much that I was dehydrated I'm exaggerating, only slightly. But they had these wonderful, wonderful power talks. And the talks would last about 15 minutes, and there were different ministers that did them. And I was just so energized and somewhat dehydrated. But it was just such a fabulous experience to be at that conference and to see all of the wonderful things that are going on. And Reverend Nan is going to talk about those things in her talk. But I had a couple of things that I wanted to mention. One was that Reverend Bob Dean, who was at our center for a number of years, received a special award for working with youth. And I got to see his picture, and and you could respond with the chat and congratulate people. I also got to see our practitioner Sonia, because she was part of the planning, and I got to see her, and I sent her a little thing, yay, Sonia. And then I also, one of the sweetest things was that I got to see Sharon, because Reverend Nan Bruce had done I think Donna sent just an adorable picture of Sharon, and everyone that had passed away in terms of ministers or practitioners during the year was honored, and it was just so sweet to see that. So I just want you to know that there is a whole lot going on in CSL. There's a lot. And that I think sometimes we think, well, we're the only ones that are faced with issues or something, and that's not true at all. But I think when we really look at what is going on, we recognize that the only limitation that there is what we put on ourselves. Spirit has no limitation. And I'm just so excited to be here today, because it's going to be so great that when Reverend Ann shares some of those things. But let's do the weekly affirmation. And as I do this affirmation, I want you to look at the picture. I suppose I should have brought capes for everyone, but I didn't think about it. But remember Lois and Superman too. So here we go. Today I live life to its fullest. Let's say that together. Today I live life to its fullest. And then if you would just soften your gaze or whatever makes you feel comfortable, I will do a treatment. I know that there is absolutely no limitation in spirit. I may not know what to do, but spirit does. And I know that when I connect to that power, to that perfect intelligence that spirit is, I know that I too can do great things. And I know what is true for me is true for each and every person on our planet. And as I think about that in terms of myself, I know that when we work together, that we are capable of doing tremendous things. And as our curiosity for what we can do grows, so does our enthusiasm. And I claim for our service today and throughout the week that each of us becomes more aware of the power that we have. And that when we are curious and reach out and think of things that maybe we had not done this way before or look at it a different way, we recognize that we truly can create a world that works for all. So grateful to know this power that we can use. I release my word to the creative law, knowing that it only says, yes, my beloved, yes. And so it is. And I think we have music.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Sing along with us. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. One more time. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends.
Good morning again. I am Reverend Nan, and it's my joy to be with you today. I'd like to begin with a reminder that this week on March 1st, Women's History Month begins, and the World Day of Prayer is celebrated on the first Friday of March, which is March 3rd this year. In 2022, more than 1.5 million people speaking 90 different languages in 150 countries around the world came together in spirit. Now, this tradition began with Christian women almost 100 years ago. A different participating country writes the theme for each year's prayer. And this year, Taiwan chose the theme, I have heard about your faith. This day now promotes not only diversity in Christianity, but unity for all people and faiths through prayer. For more information, you can just search World Day of Prayer. Now today, we're concluding our month's theme of Curiosity as a Superpower. And my talk title today is Living Curiosity Out Loud. We've covered a lot of curious territory with this theme this month, and I'd like to share this true story as we conclude our exploration of curiosity. A car-sized rover named Curiosity landed on Mars in August 2012. It was launched in November 2011 and was created by the Mars Science Laboratory mission as part of NASA's Mars Exploration Program. Curiosity was designed to assess whether Mars was ever habitable, and it was named by 11-year-old Clara Ma. Here is her essay that won the naming contest. Remember that she's 11. Curiosity is an everlasting flame that burns in everyone's mind. It makes me get out of bed in the morning and wonder what surprises life will throw at me that day. Curiosity is such a powerful force. Without it, we wouldn't be who we are today. When I was younger, I wondered, why is the sky blue and why do the stars twinkle? Why am I me? And I still do. I had so many questions, and America is the place where I want to find my answers. Curiosity is the passion that drives us through our everyday lives. We have become explorers and scientists with our need to ask questions and to wonder. Oh, sure, there are many risks and dangers, but despite that, we still continue to wonder and dream and create and hope. We have discovered so much about the world, but still so little. We will never know everything there is to know, but with our burning curiosity, we have learned so much. What a wonderful essay from a young woman. We have discovered so much about the world, but still so little, huh? You know, as I prepared my message for this week, it occurred to me that burning curiosity, the endless desire to know more, could also apply to our own spirituality. It could also apply to what we know and use from Science of Mind. You know, on the front of the Science of Mind text, it has this inscription: a faith, a philosophy, a way of life. I just wonder how many of us are engaged in spiritual curiosity to find out how we may really make our spiritual principles and practices a way of life. How can we put them into action to create our vision of a world that works for all? You know, our founder, Ernest Holmes, was an incredibly spiritually curious man. He consumed information about all sacred scripture, faith traditions, and metaphysical concepts as a steady diet throughout his entire life. He never stopped being curious. He never stopped considering and investigating the miracle of life, the universe, consciousness, and the infinite nature of the divine presence. His life was a study in spiritual curiosity, always punctuated by his joyful sense of humor. He would have loved young Clara Ma, I'm sure. Even as Dr. Holmes aged, he remained spiritually curious. Nothing deterred him. Anyone who finds their way to religious science has to have an element of spiritual curiosity. I know I did. I was curious about how a deeper understanding of the powers of the universe could change my life. And I think that's true for many of us. In my heart, I felt and believed that this thing that had so many names could only be one thing. And my name for that was always love. When all the other names seemed to fall short, love was the word that fit in my heart. Eventually, I determined I was curious about something bigger, spiritual love. I became curious about my spiritual nature and why or how it was different from others. Not to judge, discredit, or malign other teachings, but to find out who I really was in relationship to the all-powerful love. The love that Ernest Holmes described as an irresistible sweeping power that nothing or no one can stop. In my pursuit of spiritual love, my curiosity led me to religious science. Here I found a great package that let me be me and still be curious about and explore the nature of that one love. And the added bonus was that I learned that there was only one mind, too. And over the years, as life unfolded, my curiosity led me to hear the call to ministry from Spirit, as you well know. Now, what I love more than anything in this expression of my life is being with others who are spiritually curious. And I am incredibly excited to say that I spent this past week, as did Janice, virtually attending the Centers for Spiritual Living annual conference. More than 800 people were attending this conference virtually and in person around the globe. The theme for the conference was evolutionary love for today's world. Well, you know, with my affinity for and curiosity about love, I was pretty curious about how that would be woven into the presentations and seminars. How could love be evolutionary if there's only one love? Well, what I experienced this week was the birthing of the evolution of this movement we call Science of Mind towards a greater realization of Ernest Holmes' dream of being and remaining open at the top, of our roles in creating that world that works for all. If you feel as though your spiritual curiosity has been on hold with all the things we've experienced in the world and in our lives over the past few years, if you think you're at an impasse with your spiritual growth and there's no place left for you to go, the idea of spiritual curiosity might just be the ticket for you to get inspired. You know, here we are in Visalia, just one small center doing the best we can. And it's easy to see that we might think we are on an island, isolated and not part of an ever-growing movement. So I'd like to share some information that might pique your interest and perhaps your spiritual curiosity. So I have this little slideshow of information that I'd like to present to start with. And this is going to be a little funky because I'm going to go back and forth with some things. So hang on tight for me here. Oops, where are we? Alrighty, here we go. I think you can see that now. So these are the areas that field services for CSL services, Centers for Spiritual Living. I am one of those 798 active ministers. Janice is one of the 2,287 practitioners, and so is our virtual prac, Sonia, who, as Janice mentioned, was part of the planning committee and introduced one of the segments of it. At Center for Spiritual Living Visalia, we are one of those 243 centers. And if we continue, there are 46 teaching chapters, 52 focus ministries, 3 teaching chapters, and 60 teaching centers, and 66 study groups around the globe. Now, in 2022, we are one of the communities who taught certificated education classes. All of you who took those classes are part of the 2,749 students who were served. We were one of the 46 communities who taught practitioner education, and Scott Edwards, who moved to Las Vegas, was one of the 111 prac students. Lots of spiritual curiosity going on with all that education stuff, I'd say. Now, this I thought we would find interesting. Our dear friend Julie Lovato was pretty busy in 2022 also. She was integral to all these activities, supporting 13 new communities that were created, 30 open pulpits that were filled, 11 currently open and being supported. She supported 4 center closures, and 4 of our centers merged into 2. If you think your email is busy, check hers. 42,690 emails in and out, 1,283 meetings, and she chairs 3 committees. And she supports 26 pracs in the virtual prac program. And we all know what a special light Reverend Julie is. And then we have the ministers section. Now, there were 27 ordinations, 24 new ministers, and 2 launch sessions that are the sessions that they provide for new ministers as they become licensed. There were 7 affiliated ministers. Now, those folks are from Unity or Emerson, and they want to become CSL ministers. so they can be licensed ministers in CSL centers rather than their own denominations. I am one of the, whoops, I forgot to change to Reverend Kathy here. No, we've got it. I am one of the, anyway, I'm one of the 96 ministers who are on the path to ordination, by the way. And she, Reverend Kathleen, has been wonderful in licensing and credentialing. And she's no slouch in the email department either, if you noticed. And if you think the movement is failing, the School of Leadership graduated 33 ministerial students last year, 24 paneled, and the remainder will be paneled this year. In fact, the first panel is coming up on March 6th, and all 24 who paneled last year passed. And we welcomed 7 affiliating ministers to Centers for Spiritual Living in 2022 after they had completed their course actions for affiliation education to serve in our communities. So, very interesting stuff, I think. Now I just have to reorganize my screen here so that I can continue with this. Sorry for the delays, but you're getting some special stuff today, you know? This week we elected a new spiritual leader for our organization who's going to serve for the next 3 years, Reverend Dr. Sonny Cantrell Smith. I was completely overjoyed with her election. Reverend Dr. Sonny represents the heart and soul of the spiritual leader of our organization. And I think it's vitally important for all of us to hear her first message, especially as we consider the changes here in our center. I abbreviated my message today so everyone could hear Reverend Dr. Sonny today. And here's her first message as our spiritual leader, and I believe you will find her as inspiring as I do. Now I just have to fix this up so y'all can see her and hear her. Hang on here. All righty.
Beloved CSL family, I wish I could be with you all in person to deliver my first talk as your newly elected spiritual leader. My entire life has been guided by love, so before I share anything else with you, I begin with love and gratitude. First, for Gregory Toole and his willingness to serve our organization in leadership. I am deeply grateful for Drs. Ken Gordon and Edward Viljoen and their stunning leadership of our organization. It is their example of dedication and governance I will continue to use as a model for these next 3 years of service. I especially acknowledge Edward for his kindness and direction through one of the most difficult and turbulent times in the history of our organization and our world. Thank you so much, Edward. As the role of spiritual leader has evolved and we no longer have the position of field leader, I take a moment to recognize Drs. John Waterhouse and Sunday Cote for their dedication to our centers and their outstanding work in leadership. I also thank my beloved minister council for their continued support and encouragement, as well as my wife, Louise, who always reminds me to do the right thing because it is the right thing to do. The truth is, as I contemplate what to say, I realize I am still a little stunned that I have been elected as your spiritual leader. Never in my wildest dreams, when I took foundations class with Reverend Mary Murray Shelton, did I believe I would be giving this talk as your spiritual leader. At the start of my message, I said love has guided my entire life, but it's been a long journey to include self-love. I grew up in poverty, but I never felt a lack of love. When I was on the verge of dying from drugs and alcohol, I had a friend who loved me enough to take me to my first 12-step meeting. In that meeting, I met someone else who cared enough to take me to the Huntington Beach Church of Religious Science in the early 90s. It was there, for the first time in a very long time, I once again felt the love of the divine. For many years, I thought Spirit had abandoned me. At the Huntington Beach Church, I fell in love with science of mind. I could not get enough and took classes until the only class left was practitioner training. I loved being a practitioner, and I loved learning about the larger organization, so much so that I became a minister. Love is what propelled me to open a new center in the heart of the Bible Belt and call it Ahava, the Hebrew word for love. And love is what moved my heart to say yes and be with you all today. I share all of this with you because love is a shared value of this organization. We embrace love as the self-givingness of the divine, expressing as compassion, caring, mutual respect, and kindness. I believe we can depend on love to create a community-wide climate of honest reflection, direct communication, and compassionate sensitivity to the suffering that is present in our world. Dr. Holmes, in The Science of Mind, wrote, "We do not say everything is all right when it is all wrong. We do not say peace when there is no peace, but rather we try to discover what is wrong and why we do not have peace. We do not say that people are not poor or sick or hungry or unhappy. We ask why these things should be. If the original cause of all things is harmonious, perfect, radiant, and happy." Further, he wrote, "Science of Mind will never be a closed book, but will continue to gather spiritual truth from every source and everyone's experience." The truth is, I don't know how we're going to get there, whatever there is. I don't know all the issues exactly that face us or where the path lies. But what I do know is that there is that within us that does know the way, a power greater than we are, and with it, we are going to get there together. Why? Because we are eternally connected through a love that remains unfettered through spirit, as our hearts know the truth through our own humanity. I never want to forget nor take this truth for granted. To paraphrase the words of poet David White, the journey to finding yourself is a journey of peeling away all of the identities, beliefs, and assumptions you have taken on over a lifetime and discovering what is underneath. You know, I believe we are all on a journey to the heart of being, our being, learning to meet life and circumstances as well as the truth of our own being, each of us on our own terms. On this journey, we cannot sacrifice our humanity through chasing our personal enlightenment. We must stand in the power of the oneness of our teaching that teaches us, and we must travel together. In this way, we are all spiritual leaders, and we are all stepping into leadership while generating hope and faith, motivated by our vision, which keeps us looking ever forward to the future with a unified, common goal and shared values. We, as leaders, must be able to articulate our vision and keep it alive through our faith in it. And we must create a sense of belonging and hope that this vision can transform our world. To articulate our vision, we must continue asking the question, who are we? In a world that works for everyone, who are we? What is our place? What is our true identity? What does it mean to be a global organization? To remain open at the top, We must be open to new ideas and new ways of being in the world. Many of our communities have endured great struggle in the last few years. Some have closed their doors, and some are reevaluating their purpose in keeping their doors open. Ministers, practitioners, spiritual directors, and members are re-examining their place in our vision. I hear you, and I am with you. And without diminishing your pain or doubt, I believe that our strength is in staying together, and our being together is an opportunity. It is the opportunity to redefine our place in the world. It is an opportunity to redefine our identity. It is a call to love. I believe in this teaching. I trust our global organization and its elected leaders. I have faith that together we can use these opportunities to evolve and endeavor to become a place where all voices are valued and people feel safe to express their fears, their pain, their hope, and yes, their joy. I believe together we have the power to create a world that mirrors love and never stops weaving a tapestry of oneness. It is so important to remember what we bring to the world and how we show up in the world matters. As we begin a new day in the life of CSL, let us all begin with hope in our hearts, faith in our leaders, and prayer on our lips. Let us pray to know that there is a great healing and it is happening right now. Let us all pray that social justice and equity are realized without delay. Let us pray and affirm the health of all families and individuals around the world, knowing that as we pray, people are being empowered and strengthened in themselves and their communities, repairing the breaches which divide nations and people. Let us affirm that our organization is no longer the best kept secret in the world, but a leader in the healing of our world. We do this through inspired action, not just through spiritual practice. As Dr. Edwards said so beautifully in his farewell talk as spiritual leader, what I know to be true, however, is that in the end, what will grow this movement is demonstration, not talk. Yes, the work begins within, but to be effective in the world, that is only a start. We have to act. If we want a world that works for everyone, we have to be aware of what is happening in the world now and build bridges so that we can become part of the solution. We must, to paraphrase what Blanca Mejia said so beautifully on Tuesday, be a truly global organization, not a US-centric organization doing things around the globe. So we begin with our greatest tool, prayer. And when we are through with prayer, let us move our feet and take action to support our prayers. In the words of Dr. Holmes, I am led, guided, and inspired by the living spirit of love and right action. I am compelled to move in the right direction and to always know what to do, where, and how to do it. It is a great honor to serve Centers for Spiritual Living in this role, and I am truly grateful to all of you for your trust and your support. And as I said before, the title of spiritual leader does not mean they do it alone. We are all in this together. So now, let's get to work. Peace and blessings.
I do hope that you all enjoyed that and are now as energized as I am about moving forward as part of Centers for Spiritual Living. You know, Visalia is actually the microcosm of the greater organization. We're coming together to create a new evolution for our center. And I encourage all of us to be spiritually curious every day. As Dr. Holmes said, there is that which lives within each of us. And I think our special music today will support that investigation. And today, especially as we have our town hall meeting, I encourage everyone to engage in spiritual curiosity about the results and be open and willing to divine creativity and evolutionary love guiding us into the days to come. And so it is, my friends, and so it is. And now it's time for our music. And I think that you will understand the wonder of this song and who you really are. So enjoy it.
I love with the heart of God within me. I sing with the voice of God within me. I rest with the peace of God within me. Everything, everything praises God within me. I know with the mind of God within me. I pray with the faith of God within me. I trust with the power of God within me. Everything, everything praises God within me. I am a safe and loving place, born of beauty and grace. I laugh with the joy of God within me. I shine with the light of God within me. I am who I am because of God within me. Everything, everything praises God. I am here, I am me with everything, everything, everything praises God within me. Everything, 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 everything praises God. Everything, everything praises God within me.
Thank you so much, Hope, for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of Denise Rosier's song, God Within Me. You know, it's time for our conscious giving affirmation, and I just want to mention that we've been ahead of the curve with this idea of conscious giving for over a couple of years now. The Centers for Spiritual Living have now disbanded, should we say, the word tithe as a part of our spiritual practice. Instead, we are in conscious giving. And so we now are ahead of the trend, my dears. So now it's time for our affirmation. If we have that up on the board, if you want to take your gift in your hand and just bless it and join me as we say, I am so thankful I can live life to the fullest and share my prosperity with love. Let's do it again. I am so thankful I can live life to the fullest and share my prosperity with love. Now you can donate. And now if the ushers would receive the gifts, please. You can donate by going to our website and hitting the donate button. You can also send your contribution directly to the address, our address, Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia, at 117 South Locust Street, Visalia, 93291. I just want to say that all of the gifts that we receive, all of the time, the treasure, the talent that goes into the production of our center, the upkeep, maintenance, and caring, provides us with the ability to have these Sunday services that go everywhere around the world. Maybe you didn't think so, but yeah, they do. So I'm so grateful because I know that these gifts are blessings, and I know that everyone comes from the love of pure spirit. And it's the divine flow, the reciprocal nature of that divine flow of abundance and prosperity that moves in and through everyone in our center as these gifts are received and given, and it must return to the giver 100-fold or more. And now I'd like to bless these gifts. Sorry for the time delay. We're still getting our timing right, but you know, the more we do this, the better it's going to get. So I'm so very grateful for these gifts. I give thanks for them. I bless each and every person and the energetic of love that has brought forth these gifts. And it's with a grateful, grateful heart that I call it good and very good. And so it is. And now it's time for the peace song. And you know what that means? Everybody gathers in a circle. If you're new to the center, you can hold hands. If it's not comfortable for you, that's okay. You don't have to. You don't even have to sing. But the words are going to be up on the wall, on the TV screen for you. And then I'll be back for the benediction.
Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now it's time for our benediction. So if you will join me, I think everybody knows this. If not, it's easy to follow. So something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Now, life is in my mind,
Life is in my mind.
and life is in my body,
Life is in the body.
and it's in the body of my affairs.
And it's in the body of my affairs.
Oh, I think it,
I think it,
and I feel it,
and I feel it,
and I love it,
and I love it.
just the way that it is,
Just the way that it is,
and just the way that it is not.
and just the way that it is.
And so
not.
together, we can say, Thank you, life. All right, everyone, as you get ready for the potluck and the town hall meeting, I will be back with you for the town hall meeting. Enjoy your potluck, and I'll see you next week also. So be back for the town hall.
Bye. Love you, Reverend Ann. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you. All right.
Thought Bruce was going to come over.